Chris Dale.
Richard James.
What's coming up?
We have the second half of your interview with Space Precinct Animatronics operator Lindsay Harris.
Jamie.
Some news.
And our wonderful Podsterons.
That's you.
The Gerry Anderson Podcast with Jamie Anderson, Richard James, and Chris Dale.
Chris, can I ask, why were you talking like a robot in the little introduction?
Yes, Chris.
Because you put me on the spot,
Right.
I had to say words, and I thought that was the vibe we were going for. But I guess I was wrong.
Does every Anderson show have like a robot sidekick or an animal sidekick or a kid's sidekick? There is a kind of a trope, isn't there, from your Zunies to your slow-mos of having like comedy.
Captain Scarlet doesn't have one.
Yeah, true.
Otherwise,
Secret Service. I mean,
All right.
UFO
But
doesn't have
listen,
one.
it was just a thought. I didn't.
yeah.
Space
No.
1999 doesn't have
No
one.
is the
Although
answer.
Maya can turn into various.
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
And there is the Alpha Child, and there's robots at various points.
So my question is,
Cribbins robot,
which one out of us three is the comedy sidekick?
What do you think, Podsterons? Email us podcast@gerryanderson.com.
Yes.
It's Ross.
It must be Ross.
Oh,
yeah. You're listening/watching
Enjoy.
and then listening, or listening and then watching the Gerry Anderson podcast. People do watch and then listen, and vice
They
versa.
do. There are some people who still listen without knowing that we're a visual thing as well.
Well, how could that be possible?
I don't know, but it is.
We just told them now.
Yeah.
Now our viewers will skyrocket.
They will indeed, yes.
What have we got coming up, Chris? What's on the randomizer this week?
Well, I don't know because it's random.
I tried to
we
catch 'em
press
out.
this big red button and it produces a random episode or film.
Yeah, in
Or
fact,
actual
I
comment
think
on
you'll
it.
find that the big red button will be pressed by our guest, Lindsay Harris,
Lindsay
from
Harris
Space Precinct.
will indeed be
Yes.
pressing this button here.
And you can see the second part of my interview with him a little later on. Jamie, you've got some news for us.
I probably do, yeah.
Excellent. But in the meantime, would you like to read out some YouTube comments from our last few pods?
Yes,
Go on then.
I can do that.
Yes, good.
Good. Get
Okay,
on
this
with
has
it.
fallen to me now.
Chop, chop.
I like it. I just sit back and relax.
Penquilla
Oh, yeah.
says, this is under the Bob Ayres Exposed Part 2,
Yes, yes.
I've recently acquired the audio version of Project Orca.
Ah.
That's because she'd heard Bob Ayres talking about it.
That's
and
right.
I'm looking forward to hearing it even more.
Oh, right, good. I wonder
I
if she's
haven't
listened
yet
to
heard.
it
Yes, Pen, let us know if you've
Yeah.
listened, and do give us a review.
Yep.
Good, bad,
Read
or
by
ugly.
the lovely Wayne Forrester, who's also lovely. Yeah. In addition to Lindsay also being lovely, the lovely Lindsay, who we've mentioned as being lovely.
And the
Everyone's
the
lovely.
Comedy Ross.
Right.
Yeah.
Comedy Ross. yeah.
Okay, yeah, good.
Priscilla Brown
Yes.
writes,
The lovely Priscilla Brown.
Lovely Priscilla.
the lovely Priscilla Brown writes, freedom of movement is one of the biggest strengths of the rebooted Captain Scarlet series.
Yes,
Yes.
we've been having this discussion about the limitations that you have with puppets in terms of the fight scenes and things like
You're
that.
not talking about the Schengen zone and all that sort of-
no,
okay.
not
I-
this week.
when I first read it, I thought it was that. Because while it was amazing what they were able to do with puppets,
Yeah.
having the ability to move is a benefit for the series that relies on human interaction. Also, I don't necessarily want to annoy Jamie too much.
Oh,
and
right.
yet you carry on
Go
writing,
on,
Priscilla, about the book situation. But I do think having the novels/comics/short story collections in at least downloadable ebook format wouldn't be such a bad idea.
Yeah, now this is a
Yes.
conversation that continued while you weren't with us for the last few podcasts
right.
as well. People saying, well, actually, I'd quite like even in ebook form, is that not possible? You know, I guess the thing is, did they email or are they emailing or getting in touch in big enough numbers to justify that?
Well, we do have some titles that are currently being converted to a downloadable ebook format and will be released soon.
Okay.
So
That's
we'll
nice.
find out if you really mean it, Podsterons,
Yeah.
or whether you are just writing in to annoy me.
Right, yes, fair enough. I think, have you got to the end of that one?
I've done that one, yeah.
Well, I think Chris should read the next one.
Me too.
Bettel East,
Yes.
or is that Betty Lee East?
Don't know. That's why I wanted you to read it.
Okay, well, Bettel East is the name we have here. It's a really cold day in Iowa.
Yeah.
So, what better way to entertain oneself? Dunno. So, I could make some tea and settle in for a nice afternoon. I'm glad that I don't have to go outside today. That's always nice. I will be glad when spring is here, though. I'm tired of being cold. And that's it.
Excellent.
There you are.
So,
See, isn't that
there we
nice?
go.
Very happy to keep you warm and entertained.
Yeah.
What I like about that one is that it could go to any podcast ever. It doesn't have to.
Not even ours.
Not even. Yeah.
No, I disagree. I think
Yeah.
ours brings a unique warmth.
To the cornfields of Iowa.
Yeah, where it's needed most. Talking of unique warmth,
Yes.
let's get some Gerry Anderson news from the warm,
This uniquely
Jamie
warm
Anderson.
individual.
Sorry.
Okay. It's the Gerry Anderson news. All right, a bit
Come on.
premature.
Chris was a bit slow.
I do the
actually.
end bit,
Oh, did you?
apparently.
Okay, fine.
I do.
Well, after much speculation,
Yes.
many emails and ex posts of complaint from adoring fans
Yeah.
of Space Precinct.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
And Richard James.
Yes.
Fight the Future is finally available for pre-order from the 14th of this month. Not even pre-order, sorry.
Finally.
For actually delivery
Yeah.
from the 14th of this month.
14th, right? Okay.
Yes.
That's like soon.
It's
that
possibly
gone?
already gone by the time you're listening to this.
Let's flick back and
It
see
will
what
have.
date this
Yes.
is. 16th. So yes.
So you
It's
can
out.
now have it.
People are now enjoying it.
Well, where's mine?
Well,
Oh yes,
it's
because we're
before.
recording this in advance.
Yeah.
God, I get so
So
confused.
Richard,
Yes.
for those adoring fan who have asked about
Rude.
Space Precinct Fight the
Yeah.
Future, it wasn't Chris, no, it was somebody else.
Right.
Please tell us what is
Seth Bird?
Space Precinct Fight. It wasn't even Seth Bird. No, there's more of them. What is Space Precinct Fight the Future? Well, I look up the cover, which you haven't seen
I'm
yet.
so looking forward to that. What better way, Chris, to celebrate 30 years since Space Precinct than revisiting those classic characters in a very unusual setting?
What better
Wow.
way, indeed?
I think I said before, I didn't just want to write another episode of Space Precinct. I wanted to take another look at what was so special about the series and the premise and the characters.
Yes.
So the way I've done that is to present, I suppose, an alternate history, an alternative reality. What would have happened if Lieutenant Brogan had not been transferred to that other precinct, but had stayed on Earth for the rest of his career? What would have happened both to him and Sally and his family, but also what would have happened on planet Altor without him in Demeter City? How would they
Who
have
would have
coped?
taken Zill?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. What would
Big
have happened to Zill?
questions.
Oh, I don't think I mentioned Zill in the book.
What?
Oh, pulpit.
Wow.
Send it back.
No, because it's an alternate reality. I think they have a dog.
Oh, that's
And
right.
the dog is named after one of our wonderful Podsterons, as are so many other characters, because I don't know if you remember, we had a bit of a competition
Yes.
where I said, if you write in, I'll put your name in the book. And dozens of people wrote in, so virtually every character in the book is named after one of our Podsterons.
Amazing.
Isn't that great?
Brilliant.
Yeah. Have you got the cover? You can't find it,
I
can you?
can't download it. It's just loading and nothing's happening.
Oh.
Anyway, it looks great.
Yeah, well, I'll take your word for it. So is this available in hardcover or ebook, or how's it?
Ebook and paperback. You can get it from the Gerry Anderson store or from Amazon.
Yep, lovely.
So yes, go and grab it, and please, write a review
Please,
after you've
yes,
read it.
please leave a review. We were talking about this earlier, weren't we, Chris, with your
Yes.
Sting. Apparently, Chris has written a Stingray book. He keeps it quiet, doesn't like
Really?
to talk about it,
I
apparently.
thought it might be on this table somewhere. but I can't see it.
No,
I
no,
can't
think where
see
it might
it.
be. But do leave a review either on the Gerry Anderson website or if it's available via Amazon, on Amazon as well, because we love to know your feedback. We love to know what you think about the stuff that we write, don't we, Chris?
We do.
Yeah.
We love it.
And it's very difficult to get hold of reviews, so everyone is appreciated.
Yes. Oh, I found the cover.
Well, that's beautiful.
There it is.
Great. Can I just do a little...
It won't.
Turn around.
It won't show, but try.
No, it won't.
But you can insert it in the video version and go. Oh
that is
yes. I think that's the final approved cover. I hope it is.
Great.
But it looks very cool.
That looks brilliant.
Very
nice.
dramatic.
Yeah, yeah.
And it also comes at just the right time because the Space Precinct Blu-ray is finally out in the world. You
Wow.
should have your copy in your hands by now or very shortly afterwards.
But Chris, since we last spoke
Yes.
and before it was released, did you just have time to put another quarter of an hour on that
Well,
documentary? or
I would have liked to, but there's so much on there already. What with documentary?
Are you going to make another documentary, the bits that you left out?
I could do. There is quite a lot. Yes, but there's so much on there with the little lost robot new episode
Oh,
featuring
which is so
Slow,
Oh
lovely.
my
which is
God,
so
it is
lovely.
literally a new episode of
Yeah.
Space Precinct. It's not like a little funny little thing. It's a new episode.
yeah.
And
Gary Martin
brilliant.
reprising his voice.
Lovely
Like
Gary.
slow-mo.
Yes.
Great Gary.
Lovely Gary. Yeah.
And we
All
have
done-
the Series 2 test footage.
Yes.
Yes.
We have of just all manner of lovely treats.
And also some old stuff mixed with new stuff. So there are
Things
other...
like the Making of Space Precinct documentary is on there. This is, I think, the first time we have the episodic versions of the two-parters and the movie-length versions of the two-parters on the same set.
Lovely.
In fact, I actually noticed on 2 episodes, and I dare Podsterons to find this, 2 episodes that each have a single line of ADR that I had not heard previously.
What?
Yes. And
Exclusive.
it's completely redundant dialogue.
Right.
As soon as I heard it, it was like, I've not heard that on any release before.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Also, Podsterons, get in touch if you spot Christine Glanville in Double Duty.
Yes.
Yes.
Sweet, isn't it?
Or in the making of.
We speak often about what a great time it is to be a Gerry Anderson fan because there's so much new stuff happening and so much stuff to get your hands on, but it's a great year to be a Space Precinct fan.
It is,
Yes.
yes.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's nice that we can celebrate these things.
Yeah.
We do our
Although
best to
after
celebrate them all.
This month, there isn't really much.
I'll
more
keep
Space Precinct
celebrating
to come.
this.
You'll always
All
keep
year,
celebrating.
yeah, and beyond. If you want more Space Precinct tales, do hang on for our second part of my interview with Lindsay Harris coming up very shortly.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, but
That's
I think,
it. It's all Space Precinct this week.
That's it.
That's the end of this week's Gerry Anderson news.
That was the news.
I knew it.
That was
I
the
knew it.
news.
I
I'm
knew
feeling
it.
I've done that before.
Yeah, but this
But
is
it was
very-
perfect. It's perfect.
That's very good.
Nailed it.
Talking of Space Precinct,
Yes.
would you like to hear the second part of my interview with Lindsay Harris? Yes? Good.
Yes.
Here it is. Welcome back, Lindsay Harris.
Thank you. It's lovely to be back.
Well, I mean, to make the journey twice, it's amazing.
It's brilliant.
We must have done something right last time.
Yeah, must have done.
So last week we talked about your beginnings in the industry,
Yeah.
and how you met Richard Gregory first of
Yeah,
all, working at the at Oxford, and then how that then led eventually onto Space Precinct.
Yes.
A huge new production from Gerry Anderson. Do you remember the buzz that was around at the time?
Yeah, I did. And I was like, again, it was like L&M
Yes.
block.
Huge.
It was just perfect.
Do you remember the first time you walked around those sets?
Yep.
The police station and the
Yeah,
broker's house.
Yeah, and again, like the police cruiser was really cool.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and I remember, I think it was outside our workshop. There was a bit where there was a little building, not a building, but like a little, I suppose, like one of those little school huts.
Yeah.
And I think there was a bit where one of the model effects kind of blended in with that, and there was like a cruiser crashes into it, and all these
Right.
chickens come out.
Right.
And then we did the outside exterior there, which
yes.
was just outside
Okay.
the workshop.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was like, because I thought, still now that block is, it's just like, there's the stages.
Yeah.
There's the offices downstairs.
Yeah.
There's all the actors and makeup
Yes.
rooms and stuff upstairs. It was
That's right.
absolutely perfect.
I mean, certainly from my point of view, it was kind of unique in that we were all under that same roof. We were like a little village, weren't we, for a year?
I would say it was kind of just promoted a really good kind of little sort of, for want of a better word, kind of family feel. You know?
Yeah, that's right.
We'd all, at lunchtime, we'd all kind of
Yeah, go to the pub.
congregate or whatever, or go to the pub or whatever.
I do remember towards
great.
the end of that year, we kind of threw caution to the wind a bit. At the very beginning, it was like, no, I've got to keep it in my mark, I've got to have my lunch. You know. And then by the end, it was like, rip it off, let's go to the pub,
stick it back
let's
on.
go. And if I haven't got any lines, you don't even have to glue it, because I'll just keep my mouth shut.
Yeah. But again, and that was when you could, I don't know, it was just sort of, it just felt it was a good vibe.
Yeah, so you worked with the likes of Nigel Trevesi.
Yes, good old Nigel.
And Christine Glanville,
Yes,
of course.
good
What were they
yeah.
like to work for as a team or with as a team?
Nigel Trevesi was just like fabulous. He was really great. Great humour, great sense of... he just sort of effortlessly did it all, and he kind of really, and he, I was only like 24, 25, and he was just had such faith in me and was really, he was just...
And that's important, isn't it?
Yeah, faith. And when somebody has faith in you, and the same with Greg, that's when the magic happens,
Because it's kind of empowering in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of, you sort of like, you go, well, this is working, now I can do whatever, I can soar now, I can...
Yeah.
I can do. This is working. And they're happy. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember Nigel used to get annoyed with me because I used to grow a bit of a beard sometimes.
I
used to hate that.
And I thought
Because it's very difficult then to stick
Yes, and I think Yeah, I always remember. Can you remember the one we did? I can't remember the one what it was called, but there's a bit where they had the crystals in the head.
Oh yes,
and you did like the sort of P.T. Barnum.
That's
kind
it.
of
Illegal,
character.
I think.
Illegal.
That's a John Glenn episode,
yes.
I think. Yeah.
And that was really good. And
Yeah,
I remember Nigel was, great on that one. And
Yeah.
And there was a great photograph somewhere of you and him in the ring somewhere.
Oh.
So,
Yeah.
Nigel
Nice.
Trefessi was a really wonderful guy.
I often think it's a shame because I didn't really watch Gerry's shows growing up. So I found myself on a set with the likes of Christine Glanville, and I'm ashamed to say I didn't really take advantage of that like I would now, knowing her long history. I mean, she was there, practically at the beginning of the Anderson story.
She was one of the characters in Space Police. She was one of the cats in that. Yeah.
Christine Glanville?
Yes.
Was she? I had no idea.
She was I think she was in there was like a big cat.
Amazing.
And she had like a big sort of suit on.
Yeah.
And she played one of those characters.
Wow. But, she was puppeteering on the likes of Thunderbirds and Fireball, all that,
stuff.
years
but
before.
Again, it was like, she was always, glad to share knowledge and kind of, shows and stuff like that.
You were kind of aware then of now being part of that Anderson story, that lineage.
Yeah, well, because I kind of, again, like when we did the, I think it was Top Gear or something, I can't remember exactly what it was, but I went with Greg and he got a van and we had the Parker and the Lady Penelope puppet. Yeah. We went and picked Christine out, picked the puppets up, and then I met Christine for the first time, and it was just like, and Greg was, he was a big fan of Gerry as well, because I remember him telling me where it was like when they did Terrahawks, I think it was Gerry phoned him up in his workshop and he's like, I'm Gerry Anderson. I was just, it was like, I don't know if you know me or not. And Greg was like, oh, yeah, I think I know, sort of played it down. But
yes, that's right.
So.
Yeah, incredible. Now, I also asked you via an email exchange earlier this week to supply me with your favourite Anderson moments. So I think we've got time now to have a look at a couple of these.
Yeah.
So let's have a look.
Stand by to take evasive action, Parker.
Yes, milady.
Very specific moment that you mentioned.
Now, milady.
Now, Parker.
Aim, fire.
Just a little bit over to the right, old son. Thank you very much.
I don't think there's much point in looking for survivors, Parker.
No, milady.
I mean, that's a bit grim, isn't it?
It's just like, that is just perfect. It's just like brilliant. It's like, again, it's like Lady Penelope, she's this, very youthful, beautiful woman.
Yeah.
And it's like, but don't mess with me.
Yeah, that's
because
right.
you'll be sorry.
Yes, well, that's the crew of that helicopter somewhere.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah. So let's have some more questions from our viewers and listeners.
Yep.
Then we'll talk a little bit more about our year at Pinewood together.
Yeah.
And then let's have a little chat about what happened after Space Precinct.
Yeah.
If you could believe that there is ever life beyond Space Precinct.
Yeah, wow.
Right, let's take a look at these questions here. John Stock says, hi Lindsay, nice to see you.
Hello.
In this age of AI and CGI, are you confident that there will continue to be a need for animatronics? I hope you say yes, as it's still the best in my book. Thanks. So how would you define animatronics? How is that different to model work and so on?
Well, I think animatronics is a very, and again, I think you have to have a sort of a feel for it.
Yeah.
And again, I think there's sort of very basic animatronics and then there's very high-tech animatronics.
Right.
But I think sometimes that the more basic animatronics works better because you kind of it's with the actor or the performer.
Yeah.
And it works, like I said before, sort of symbiotic kind of relationship, you know. And I think if you have too much animatronics, it sort of turns a puppet or a creature into a sort of grotesque. And it looks weird, you know. And it's when it's just right.
Yeah.
And it's not too overdone.
Yeah.
It works really well.
Yeah. I do remember there was quite a rapport during Space Precinct between Jerome Willis, who played Podley, and Christine.
Yeah, Podley.
Yeah.
I think worked so well. You know.
Yes. And it was only right, I think, after half a dozen episodes that Jerome started appearing in the opening credits, I remember.
Yes.
Because, what a performance.
Yeah.
What a lovely man. How did you get on with the cast, Gerry? That's not a leading question.
Like I said, I think that you were all fantastic, really.
What did you make of the Americans? I was rather in awe of them as a young man with Ted and Rob Youngblood.
Yeah, I think they were all great.
Yeah.
You know, I think Rob was... You know, Rob always used to call me Cousin George.
Right.
Because I looked like his Cousin George.
Fair enough.
And I got on well with Rob. And
had a gym in his dressing room, apparently.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
I never went in his
No,
dressing
nor did I. But
obviously,
apparently
you
there
were
was a gym in
privileged
there.
to go in there. But and Ted always seemed very sort of stoic and kind of just, you know, did his thing and was always great, nice and polite. And, it was great.
And he and Jerome struck up quite a friendship, I remember. I often heard about them going out for the nights at the theatre and round each other's houses for dinner and so on.
Well, Jerome was a kind of... I always thought Jerome had this sort of... You know, especially when you put the hood on.
Yeah.
I always thought he looked like a medieval knight. He had that sort of air about him. He looked sort of like this sort of crusader. You
Absolutely,
know? Or a sort of medieval knight. He kind of just had that... and the age he was then, I just thought he looked really good, you know.
Yeah,
he just had a really good sort of feel about him.
Yeah,
you know? He just carried it really well.
Yeah, he really did. And he was sort of a lovely presence on set, wasn't he?
He was.
And great for us younger folk to look up to as well.
I think he was a kind of, you know, he's a sort of like one of, obviously for actors and stuff, he'd been there and done it and treaded the boards and all that sort of stuff. And you know, he was never sort of, I've done this before or whatever, you know, because he'd been in quite a few, like Doctor Who and all sorts of stuff. And,
that's right.
You know, I'm always like, oh my God, it's Jerome. You know, like there's a TV series, like, it's Jerome.
That's Jerome.
Or he's in a film or something.
Absolutely, Gary Hodgkinson says, hi, Lindsay.
Hello.
Yeah. What's your favourite model or effect that you've assisted in the creation of? So not just Space Precinct, but let's say ever.
That's a difficult one.
Is it now?
One. Yeah.
I mean, you went on after Space Precinct to work on Walking with Dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Was that the TV series or the live
we
event
did the
as well?
TV series.
Which is groundbreaking in its day.
I mean, it was like, I think it was like 6 million and it was like 6 episodes.
Yes.
And it was like,
wow.
You know, that was, I'm really, I mean, very proud of that and Space Precinct and Walking with Beasts and stuff.
Yeah.
But we did a lot of really good animatronics on that, and myself and Greg went out to New Caledonia, and we out in deserts and jungles with these like animatronics and
amazing,
you know. And then you know, there was like in New Caledonia, there was like, you know, people there that, you know, weren't very wealthy, and they, you know, literally the clothes they had, they stood up and that was their clothes.
Yeah,
and the reaction to these dinosaurs or animatronics, but they were just like, wow,
I bet they were.
It's amazing.
Yeah, of course. It was rather like Space Precinct in the early days, at least. It was something that really caught the public's imagination, wasn't it? That series, I remember.
It
made
did.
a big splash.
Yeah, it did. And I think it was like the 19th most popular TV show.
Wow.
Back then.
Yeah,
you know. And then I think I did. You know, I went on to do. You know, I worked on like Event Horizon film and obviously worked on Thunderbirds as well.
Right. Okay.
It wasn't my Thunderbirds, but it was great to work on that.
Yeah, sure.
And other stuff. But
so what did you do on the movie, on the Thunderbirds film?
We basically on that, it was lots of sort of. We did lots of interior dressing and stuff like that.
Ah, right. Okay. Yeah.
So sort of like interiors of vehicles and things like that. So, and a few props and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Paul Hyder says, hi, Lindsay.
Hello, Paul.
How much of a rapport do you need to have with the actor to make the animatronics work most successfly?
Well, I think you need a pretty good rapport, actually, to, you know, just, as we said, it was like you just go in and go, right, okay, go. And you're like, okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of trust involved in the way, isn't there?
you know, and I think it was, again, it was a sort of, you've got to give each other a bit of leeway, you know,
Yeah,
and sort of,
yeah.
and again, we weren't given a great amount of time to sort of,
Yeah.
it wasn't like we had any rehearsals, was it?
No.
And we sort of went in, okay, rehearse
For the camera.
what this character's going to be like for the
Yeah,
camera. And
that's it.
Can you do this? Can you do that? It
Yeah.
was like literally, right, go.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
but
right.
again, it was, again, you just sort of got into the groove of it. And like I said, that first 2 weeks, I thought, I don't know what you felt, but it was just like,
That was crazy. Double duty, the first episode. I think we shot that over 3 weeks. I think they gave us an extended...
that was the one with the creature in it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And the woman that would
That's
like, and she'd turn
That's
into,
it. Yeah.
into the creature.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that very vividly.
Yeah.
Because I
remember-
was like, this is a kid's show.
I mean, this is what plagued the series throughout,
yes,
really.
yeah.
Who was it made for? Was it for kids or was it for
Well-
adults? Because sometimes, you know, there was mention of prostitutes and alien porn, and it's like,
Yeah.
who's this for?
And then it was like, I mean, the first sort of the first episode we did, you know, it was like creature looked like something out of, you know, Alien.
Absolutely.
And it was like, oh my God, it's like
Yeah.
flesh and bones. And,
Yes.
And then I think, you know, it was like, we had these really horrible eye shells that we used to put in.
Yes.
When you, 'cause I think it was an episode when you
Yes.
sort of died in
That's right, we
the
did.
time
We
travel
were
one,
shot,
wasn't
that's
it?
right, by the
And I was
cyborg,
like,
yeah.
that really creeped me out, those eyes.
Absolutely.
There was like white eye shells, wasn't
Yeah,
it? And then
yeah,
there was
yeah.
like, you know, in the first episode, there was like explosions and gun shoots and,
And
blood
I think,
and
unfortunately...
blood running out under the door.
Yeah. And that was Colin Buxey who directed that first one and was due to stay on as a
Yeah,
series
'cause-
director, but I think he rather got the blame for that, unfairly. You know, he took the rap for
Well, I
it.
think because he was, didn't he? I think he'd done some Miami Vice or something like that.
And went on
hadn't
to
he?
work on Breaking Bad as well. I mean, he's
Yeah.
still working on pretty
Yeah.
high-profile stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he'd shipped his family over from the States and everything.
Yeah, but I mean, I think, you know, again, it was a bit, like you said, that first episode was
Yeah.
very adult, wasn't it? It
Yes.
was like, you know, I think it was like one of those scenes where there's like blood running out under the door
Yes. Oh, yeah.
and there was
that's right.
blood everywhere. And
Yeah, there
it was
was.
like, what?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Jonathan Bell says, is there
Hello,
a
Jonathan.
classic Anderson design model that you wish you had worked on? So let's take all the Anderson series. What would you, in a dream
Well,
world, have liked to have worked
There's two. There's
Yeah.
obviously Thunderbird 2.
on? I knew you were going to say that.
And then obviously, well, not obviously, but I really love the SPV.
Okay,
Yeah,
right.
I think that's a fantastic bit of design.
Yeah, really. Was it the craft, you know, as a kid that kind of
I
really...
think all of it.
Yeah.
I think the whole, you know, thing with the puppets and the, you know,
Yeah.
or whatever they were, because
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was
yeah.
just a style of filmmaking for me. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't like this is puppets, that's like, you know,
Sure.
you know, and even the live action stuff. It was always, you know, there was a real style, and you'd get them, you know, obviously the eagle and
Yeah, that's
you're
right,
like,
yeah.
wow, you know, this is amazing.
Yeah. So back to our time at L&M, very briefly. I remember... I don't think I can remember a single day where I didn't want to go to work, and I remember,
Yes.
you know, rocking up at Pinewood.
I mean, I used to leap out of bed.
Yeah, of course we did,
At
absolutely.
like 6 in the morning.
That's right.
You know.
And of course you were there every day. I wasn't. Let's be frank.
And you guys were there. I mean, I think we kind of used to get you in 6:45, didn't we?
Yeah.
Because we were on set at 8.
That's it.
So, yeah.
That's right, yeah.
And again, some days it was like, you know, you'd have 1 or 2 people, and then other days it'd be like
Yeah.
4 or 5, and it was like...
Yeah. And then some days I remember being called at 6:45, not being used till after lunch.
Yes.
Oh,
Your lip hanging off.
Yeah, that's right.
Picking the
Sitting in
sweet corner.
But do you remember, I mean, we know now that it was quite a troubled production. We know that, you know, finances weren't as secure as they might have been, and at some point, some points during the year, it seems it was lucky to have limped on at
Yeah.
all. Were you aware of that at the time?
Do you know what? I wasn't really
No.
aware of that.
Yeah.
I kind of... No, I wasn't at
Yeah.
all. I think, you know, like Nigel and Greg or whatever, they never really...
Yeah.
Because they were just like, let's just see what happens. And
Yeah.
then, you know, no, I never got that. Unless I was just... I don't know. No, I wasn't really aware of any of that, really.
Do you remember the feeling of kind of being rather disconsolate as the series went on and it didn't make quite the splash that we'd hoped? I remember hearing from Lou Hirsch, whose mum had seen the series in New York, or hadn't seen it. She'd seen that it was going out at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
And we were all starting to think,
I
Really?
think that was the... And I think here it was not a great time. I think, unfortunately... a lot of those series did suffer from a bad timing slot.
Yeah.
You know.
So it launched pretty much Sky One, I remember. It was one of their first major
Yeah.
acquisitions on Sky One. Then it went out on the BBC on Monday evenings, on BBC Two, I think.
Yeah, Monday or Tuesday.
I think it was
BBC
Monday night.
Two
isn't
at a
it?
weird time.
6 o'clock or something.
It was like just before everybody got home from school or something weird.
Yeah, yeah.
But-
Should have been Saturday evening.
Well,
really,
yeah,
in
exactly.
the Doctor Who slot,
Yeah,
basically.
it should have been. Yeah, exactly that. And I think, because I think Wayne and Richard Gregory went out to do the promoting
That's right,
the
they
show
did,
in
in the
America.
States, yeah, that's it.
But yeah, I'd heard that what they call the graveyard slot in
Yeah.
America, and you
Yeah.
go, well, that's
Yeah.
not a good sign, is it? But
No.
I think I don't think it deserved the slots it was, because I think unfortunately they just didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah. That's
Because
right.
I think it was, for the time, it was, what we were doing and the Star Trek Next Generation, and it was sort of
Oh, yeah.
really ambitious,
Yeah.
because like the Star Trek ones, they sort of got aliens, but it was all sort of prosthetics, and
Yes.
but you didn't have sort of animated aliens and
No, a whole cast of animated aliens, pretty
a whole
much.
cast
That's right.
every week of
Yeah.
animated aliens,
Yeah.
and it was like, I just and I was sort of disappointed because I thought it was, a shame that it got that kind of where it was, it just sort of. It needed a better slot than it did. And
Yeah.
it kind of just like,
Yeah.
who's going to stay up until 3 o'clock to,
Yeah. Before we say goodbye, I just
Yeah.
want to catch up on the last 30 years. So,
Yeah, well-
what have you been doing? Highlights, lowlights, and what are you doing with yourself these days?
Well, like I said, I did Walking with Dinosaurs.
Yeah.
I did Walking with Beasts. And then, a lot of that was quite a few years doing that. I did some sort of films, sort of, because it was weird time after that. Because I remember when we finished on Space Precinct, I had PSB, which is Post Space Precinct Blues.
Fair enough. I
Which
think we all
is-
did for a while.
I
yes.
sort of was like,
and also
I'm-
yearning for the second series. Well, come on, then. When's that gonna- come on, I'm ready.
I was like, what? How, I was
Yeah.
like, then it was sort of like there was this sort of bit of a hang-dog feeling. There wasn't really a lot going on because the film industry was quite sort of low and quiet at that point. I know
Right.
they'd done like First Night when we were doing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And I think they did. What was the other one they were doing?
There was
there?
Mary Riley,
Something like that. Yeah,
Jekyll and Hyde
there was like
thing.
only 3 films.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I there was a little bit of a break when I wasn't, and then I did some bit of prosthetic stuff, helping them do stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then again, like I said, then it was like, we did the, I did Event Horizon.
Yeah.
I did some stuff on that.
Yeah.
And then I think, a lot of stuff went abroad.
Aha.
So I was out in Prague for about 6 months.
Nice.
And I went to, then I was in Luxembourg, and I was out there doing stuff. And then, I sort of kind of just got on a few feature films and stuff like that. Did a couple of Bonds and things like that.
Did you now?
So it was all kind of good, really.
Yeah.
But at the minute, I'm sort of not doing a great deal at the minute, but
Yeah.
I think the film industry is just a bit
terrible.
quiet at the minute.
Oh, it's terrible, yeah. Yeah, I've never known anything like it, really.
Yeah.
Right, well, that's all for now. Thank you
Okay.
so much for joining us, Lindsay.
It's been a pleasure. Thank
Great
you.
to relive all those Ellen Block
I could,
times.
you could write a book on it, or
Well, I've done that. Don't write a book on it.
or well, you could, you could go on forever about the Jolly James that we got.
Fantastic.
On,
Well, we must have you back. That's what we must do.
No, it's good.
Great to see you. Thanks for joining us, Lindsay Harris.
Thank you.
Lindsay Harris.
Oh, what a nice guy.
Lovely Lindsay Harris.
Lovely guy.
Lindsay.
Joined us for the last 2 weeks, giving his time to talk to us on the podcast.
Very generously.
Where else can you find interviews with people who worked on a Gerry Anderson series behind the scenes 30 years ago who are willing to come and talk about their experience?
On the new Space Precinct Blu-ray set that you can buy now from Gerry Anderson's shop because it's in stock.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But
good.
other than those two
Other
places,
than that,
Yeah. That's right.
it's very hard to come by.
Yeah. So thanks very much to Lindsay for joining us. Really lovely to catch up with him after 3 decades. I wonder if he'll come back in another 30 years and I can interview him again.
Oh, yes.
And I shall be 86.
2055.
Do you think we'll still
Sounds
be
very
doing this
futuristic.
in at that point.
Can you work out what pod number it'll be in another 30 years?
But one thing is sure, there will still be episodes of Torchy yet
Yes.
to be viewed.
Yes.
1,800 and something.
Gosh. I'll tell you what happens every week without fail. We get emails from our podsterons.
Yes.
So would you like to hear some? Maybe even read them out?
I suppose so.
So that we can hear them
Something
too. All right.
This is the voice of the Podsterons.
Yes, it's the Voice of the Podsterons, where we give voice to the Podsterons.
And
Clever that.
Podsterons are the people who listen to the podcast.
And the first voice you're going to hear, giving voice to the Podsterons, is Chris's.
This is from Sunny Edwards.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Just watched podcast 343. I know I'm a month late, LOL.
It's all right.
It's fine, we don't care.
No.
Yeah. As long as you're listening, that's the important thing. It's true. And just emailing due to Jamie's request for fans to reach out to this email with ideas on what they'd like to see.
Oh, I love these.
I've requested many times for Anderson Entertainment to get back in touch with Robert Harrop. This is a company who are producing little miniature figures. and
Okay,
vehicles
figurines and
such.
so on, yeah.
In my eyes, nobody has ever reached the levels of Robert Harrop. They made items that to this day, no one else have even attempted to produce on a commercial scale. This includes everything from figurines of the Duchess of Royston to Thunderbird 2 dropping Pod 4 into the ocean. I believe Robert Harrop have changed to Harrop Buckley, and I don't know what their status is. However, all I can really ask for is a redo of Captain Scarlet and Captain Blue. This iconic duo deserve another release, both in their normal Spectrum outfits. Also, aside from Robert Harrop, I hope Anderson Entertainment produce more Supermarionation collectibles like the Stingray sidearm and the Thunderbird 2 diecast we have one here.
Yeah.
I expect to see more Thunderbirds, Stingray,
Wow.
SPV, etc. to receive the same deluxe diecast treatment.
Great.
More on that shortly.
Oh,
Go on.
Yeah.
exclusive.
Yeah. Also, maybe try to stock more of certain limited releases. Thunderbirds 2025 calendar sold out way too fast.
Right.
It was very quick out of the
was very
shop,
quick,
that one,
yeah.
I love it when our Podsterons get demanding.
Yes.
That's good, isn't it?
There's a finger wag in that
Must.
email, isn't there?
No, fair enough, yeah.
But yeah, Robert Harrop did put out some lovely stuff. I never got any of it, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do regret that. I particularly liked their little figurine of Dick Spanner that was at the first Andercon.
Yes.
That was very sweet.
It was very sweet, lovely.
Yeah.
Well, it's not up to us to make Robert Harrop do anything, or Harrop Buckley.
It's up to
Yeah.
you.
No, it's that was them. They, as far as I know, they chose to stop doing the license with ITV.
Oh, right.
Obviously, came to the end of its commercial life with them, and
Yeah.
they've never done any more.
Yeah.
I'm sure a license would be available and forthcoming should they wish to do it. But yeah, as far as I know, it's not something that they want to do.
Because what's out there now goes for quite silly money on the second
Yeah,
hand
of course.
market. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the trouble, isn't it? Yeah.
And in terms of diecast and more Thunderbird stuff, there's loads in the pipeline. There's lots of stuff coming, so stand by for further stuff. I mean, you've seen all of the Eagles and the Pallet Eagle, which is now out. We've got
Lovely
more
Thunderbird 2 here.
more Thunderbird stuff coming. Some really lovely stuff coming. Have you seen the samples
I
of the
haven't.
things?
I know there's something.
I'll show
there's
you.
a something.
I'll show you offline.
An exclusive something.
Yeah,
Because we've got
So
Thunderbird
exciting.
2.
yeah. So there'll be probably more.
We have Thunderbird 2 here.
Yes.
Implying that there are more Thunderbirds.
Yes.
Yeah, could be.
Anyway, let's not give too much away.
Right. okay.
Richard.
Yes, I've got quite a long one.
Excellent.
Greetings, amplifiers of Anderson Amusement. It's quite nice, isn't it?
Ah, it's lovely.
This is from Ben Bernard Smith. He says, as you may remember from my first email into the podcast, I'm currently working my way through Gerry Anderson's shows from Four Feather Falls to New Captain Scarlet. That's the whole shebang.
Well, he's skipping Torchy.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. And whilst I'd seen some of the shows before, most of them have been entirely new. I'm currently working my way through The Protectors.
Ah.
Love The
That's
Protectors.
been one of your favourites to come across on the
absolutely
Randomiser, isn't it?
But it's taken me a while, so I thought I'd share some thoughts and a question on UFO. My initial thoughts watching it were that it looks so much more dated than the colour puppet shows, which is more of the praise of the puppet shows than a criticism of UFO. I think that's fair enough. But I was impressed with how they were able to create the illusion of a cohesive scene switching from live action to model shots. And Derek Medding's effects on the models in general are even more impressive than in the puppet shows. Would you agree with that, Chris?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
There's some really good stuff in there, but there's really good stuff in the puppet shows as well.
I liked how we started getting more into the backstories of characters, but potentially due to syndication being random in which episode would follow which, there wasn't much progression apart from with Straker and his family. I love the characters, especially Straker, Foster Freeman and Ellis, which is why I was saddened that the latter two disappeared halfway through, but it opened the door for Virginia Lake and Nina Barry to take more central roles. roles, and whilst in some ways the quality of later episodes could be better than the earlier ones, which is often the case as a series finds its feet, it's strange to me that the aliens change from body snatchers with a planet and a distinctive look to what is essentially Mysterons, which is something we discussed before, isn't it? Do you know why this decision was made and how they would have delved deeper into the mythos of the aliens in the unmade UFO 1999? Is there an unmade UFO 1999?
Well, that was the second series of UFO, which
became
Space
1999. Yeah. FAB from Bedburner Smith. P.S. in reply to Jamie's request for ideas for Thunderbirds 60th. Ready?
Yep.
He said that releasing the other original Thunderbirds novels would not be financially viable. But what about a Kickstarter for the rest of them? The limited time to get them would cause more people to commit, and extras could be in higher tiers to help with the cost. Also, Crossroads to Crime on Blu-ray.
4K Blu-ray.
What do you think?
That feels unlikely.
We'll keep
So
trying.
close.
Keep chipping away.
Yeah.
Yes.
The problem with the Kickstarter is that takes time and resource
Yes.
to run. That takes people's
Yep.
time, and everybody's too busy.
Yes.
I mean, Chris barely sleeps these days.
Yes,
it's
I know.
terrible.
That's right. Yeah, it's true.
I've been involved with sort of the running of a Kickstarter and then the post-Kickstarter phase of getting back to everybody in terms of their donations and where they want their rewards set and such. And it takes a long time.
Yeah.
But regarding the changes to UFO, I don't know to what extent they were discussing plans for the aliens in the second series. Maybe they had discussions, that's never come up. But I know that when they broke for 9 months between the shooting at Bournemouth and the shooting at Pinewood, they did sort of sit down and study what they'd done so far and made changes according to what they felt worked and didn't work. So evidently what they did with the aliens, they felt was necessary to keep the drama of the series going.
So what's interesting is even in that one series, that break enabled them to have a little bit of a look at what they were doing, which would normally take place between series. You might expect changes between, say, series 1 and series 2, but they sort of did it in the middle of the series.
Yeah, but then it was a 9-month gap, so you can kind of look at that show as series 1 and the series 2, even though it isn't technically.
Yeah, that's right.
It's quite interesting.
Jamie, you have a very small one.
I do. Hello again.
Hello. Hi.
I just wondered if your current situation with Space Patrol covered only the wonderful Blu-ray you've released, or not. Would other potential merchandise rest with someone else? Of course, I'm aware that we're talking about the super niche when discussing Space Patrol, but even though it's not a Gerry show, I think it's earned an honorary position. I hope to hear from you. If you get a mo. That's from Alex in Suffolk.
Okay, Alex. Yeah.
What potential merchandise are you after?
A Galasphere, whatever it is, collectible.
Husky Loves Sausages t-shirt?
These feel unlikely. No, we only have the distribution rights to the original series, nothing more. It could be discussed with the Roberta Lee estate potentially, but I just don't feel like there's a market for it. I mean, if we experiment with stuff all the time. We try with shows that are not Thunderbirds and Space 1999, and
no one's interested.
It's not that no one's interested, but they can be a real struggle. So to go outside of that to something which probably has even less recognition is a bit tough. Sorry.
Yeah, there you go. Send us your emails, podcast@gerryanderson.com. Comment beneath our YouTube channel as well. Let us know your thoughts. And I guess you can go on, Blue Sky and Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and all that and get in touch with
Threads.
the official Gerry Anderson channels and Threads as well.
If you like.
We're
Crazy,
everywhere.
isn't it? And somehow your message will get through and we might even read it out on a future podcast.
Yeah.
Might we?
Might do.
A little earlier on, I don't know if you were paying attention when I asked Lindsay Harris to press the big red button. Yeah, you were?
Yeah.
Did he press it?
Yes, very firmly.
He's
Brilliant.
got his fingerprints on it.
Oh,
We've got
yes.
so many fingerprints.
Great.
Here, we could implicate so many people.
Shall we see what he chose for us to watch?
I think we should. Otherwise, what was the point of getting him? Aside from getting his fingerprints for crime-related reasons.
Yes.
Okay, guys, good luck. 3, 2, 1.
Thank you very much, Lindsay. Let's see how we go.
Oh, well.
Okay, to
speeding
cover
through,
pretty
yeah.
quickly.
Past the puppets?
Yes. Hang on, past the
Hey.
classic.
Now, I sense gritted teeth from that side of the
You don't sense them, you see them.
I'm always willing to give anything a chance.
Are you?
Terrahawks. Okay. As long as it's kind of later Terrahawks when it finally found its feet and was a bit more spiky and interesting.
This is one of the last episodes shown.
Right.
It was one of the first episodes made.
Oh,
So,
yay!
Yay!
This is Space Samurai.
This is Space Samurai, episode 6.
Jamie, as you're such a big fan, tell us everything you know about Terrahawks in about 4 seconds.
It's bloody great. You're going to love it.
Specs on.
Specs on. Oh, it's so exciting!
Yeah.
Stay on this
Come on, then.
channel.
Right.
This is an emergency.
Okay, I'm going to look at this with fresh eyes.
Yeah. Because I get the feeling that Terrahawks for you is what Joe 90 is for Jamie. Would it be fair to say?
My sort of kryptonite.
Yes.
Yes.
But I
possibly.
still watch Joe 90 and find bits that I like.
Yes.
Yes.
That's the
Whereas
least
I
you
watch
can do.
Terrahawks.
And complain about it.
I don't. Yeah. Okay. I mean, shall I lay my cards on the table?
You
Yes,
can be
come
as
on.
honest as you like.
I find the puppets not very convincing. And
Convincing as puppets?
or characters.
Okay.
Is that just the
And-
humans or the aliens as well?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
And the humour isn't my humour.
Ah.
I know.
Well, perhaps if you watch it and don't expect it to be funny, that will
Yes.
help.
Yes, quite right.
Although
That's what I'll do.
if the humour of Terrahawks is your problem with Terrahawks, we could be in a bit of trouble by you.
Okay. But this is all great, isn't it? That's a
It's
lovely,
a lovely,
sequence.
rousing opening,
And
always.
The
And
images of the craft
This
and so on.
music. I like this music. It's so relaxing and
Yeah.
peaceful. And
Yes.
it's a shame that it's never had a soundtrack release. It's so relaxing.
It is, yeah. Zen.
Yeah.
Interesting vehicle design.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have a
There you go.
spaceship.
No, this is all good so far. Loving it. Okay, what's going on here then? Missiles?
Here they come again. Another wave. How many, 101?
Computer estimates 200.
Fire!
We saw 8. Was it?
Yeah.
Yes. The music's a bit wonky.
Okay, that's one gone. It's going to be a very, very long episode, isn't it?
Yes.
Maintaining watch. 10-10, hero.
Sir, you must get some sleep.
Sure.
He's right, Tiger. It's been 36 hours.
Gosh.
You're exhausted.
Must
Sure,
be.
I'm exhausted. Hero's out on his feet. We're all being stretched to the limit. The question is, why?
I wish I knew. Wave after wave of missiles with little hope of getting through. Perhaps it's a test of nerve.
Maybe. But I don't leave this seat until I get some answers.
Okay.
And I really need the bathroom.
36 hours, you say? Wow. I can barely make it through a randomizer.
Welcome to my humble ship, mighty Tamura.
The attacks.
Space Samurai.
Excellent.
I see. Okay.
And each attack brings the destruction of the despicable Terrahawks a little nearer.
Oh, the nose hairs on Youngstar are particularly grim here.
Yes.
Course not.
We only saw them destroy one of the missiles, though. Are we to infer that they destroyed them all?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And this has been going on for a while.
Yeah.
Because I think it is right.
And we've spoken recently
It must be done
about
with
looking at things through a lens of when they were made.
Yes.
Clearly,
my aim is
white actors doing Japanese voices here, which we should probably acknowledge.
Yes.
Which wouldn't happen now, but
Yeah.
it was, totally the norm then.
Yeah.
And that was Robbie Stevens doing quite a cool,
Yeah.
dramatic Tamura.
And in many ways, it makes absolute sense if you have a voice artist with the breadth of talent of someone like Robbie Stevens. You use him to do lots of voices.
Yeah.
And I suspect also this character is in it because I don't know to what extent Japanese television sort of contributed to the show financially, but it was certainly being shown on Japanese TV.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting, isn't it? So from our point of view, we're thinking, oh, that's a stereotype. You wouldn't do that now.
Yep.
But actually, it was made potentially specifically for the Japanese market, who welcomed it as a.
We know that at the time there are jokes made about Hiro's accent.
Yes.
And the Japanese financiers and distributors thought it was funny.
Yes, right.
Because they go, oh yeah, we do that sometimes. That's
Right,
funny.
right.
So it's interesting how
Yeah.
sensitivities have changed.
Yes.
Time is ripe. We destroy the Terrahawks.
Oh, that's their new plan. Destroy the Terrahawks. Oh, they got it now.
Turning over a new leaf there, Zelda.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yep, soothing music's
This is
back.
Oh, that is a nice
relaxation
model as well.
tape,
Yeah.
Nice minimalist control room there as well.
Yeah.
Although he does look like he's on the set of an 80s game show or something.
A cool 80s game show.
Yeah.
Must be parched.
Hear my voice. Do not be afraid.
What did you say, 101?
I didn't speak, sir.
I thought I heard...
Heard what, sir?
Never mind.
We're getting a clearer picture from the computer readout. The missiles are small, useless against something like Space Hawk. It makes less and less sense.
Thanks, Kate.
Right.
Thanks for your input.
Should go radio that in.
Can do. Stay on alert and wait.
More coffee.
Sir, I have a contact.
More missiles?
I'm afraid not, sir. Not this time.
What?
Identify as soon as possible. 10-10.
Here he comes.
It's alien, and it's huge. A star cruiser. It's gigantic. The missiles soften us up. Now the big attack. Fire with everything you've got, as soon as it's within range. 10-10.
Shoot first, ask questions, if you can be
I
bothered.
know you hear me, Kinred Spirit.
Sound like much of a plan so far.
What, destroy the thing? That's a plan.
No, but softening them up with lots of missiles and then sending in the big guns.
To talk.
We're ready to fire, sir.
Does that not fit with your standard military strategy?
How would you do it, sir? Maximum power.
10-0.
But, sir,
I said no, 101. We hold our fire.
The intruder's closing.
Flaming thunderbolts.
There it is.
What's going on up there? For space's sake, hero, open fire. With respect, Dr. Einstein. 10-0. What? I'm in contact with the Star Cruiser. Its mission is peaceful. The commander wishes to meet you. For what reason? He says he is here on behalf of Zelda.
Oh.
Not good.
Is he though?
Tiger's gonna have to get out of his chair for this one.
I feel great. Amazing what a little sleep can do.
I had a little snooze myself, sir. Feel like a new man.
0, how can you feel like a new man when you don't know how it feels to be any kind of man?
Ouch.
Yes.
Women have intuition.
Interesting. What do men have?
Men? Well, let's see.
He's laughing.
Deliberate.
Yes.
Have feelings or intuition.
But he does have logical thought processes, common sense. Can't you see it's a trap?
Very probably.
But you're still going to meet this Tamura?
No, I'm going to meet this today.
Sorry.
Anything I say?
They should have made that joke.
Yeah.
Let's go, 0.
Treehawk, you have a 1050.
10-10, Hawk Nest.
Cool launch.
Though we never quite established how they get into the tree.
Well, I mean, Chris, come
We never got
on.
round to that. I know.
Yeah, it's a boring bit, that.
Welcome aboard, Doctor. Thanks, hero.
I suppose you're gonna demand you take over my post.
No.
This stuff's
Stay
always
where you
great.
are. You gotta take it easy.
What do you mean?
I heard about your trouble in the A circus. Very nasty.
Well, I'm sure I don't know where you heard that.
Trouble in the A circus.
You have to expect these things.
A little hawk told me that a certain sergeant major, who shall be nameless, is so decrepit he's about to be scrapped.
What?
Will you two shut up?
Sorry.
The zeroids are perfect. I will hear nothing else against them.
Chris is
They're
dying
just-
on that hill.
Yeah.
Contact with the commander. He's a space samurai. They live by a strict code of conduct. His word is his bond. All right, I'll meet him.
Fascinated by the origins of the space samurai and how Japanese culture made it out into the outer reaches of the universe.
Well, yeah. Maybe there's a,
Or maybe vice versa.
a common ancestor somewhere.
Yeah.
Menacing, but beautiful.
Ah.
We meet here on Space Hawk. Tell the commander he may come aboard.
This is actually quite interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look at you trying.
We'll win him
No,
over.
honestly.
We'll win him over.
Brings his own soundtrack.
Two swords.
As we all should.
Yeah.
I am Tamura.
The costume kind of looks like he's got waffles sort of glued to his.
It's making me hungry.
My name's Hero. The kindred spirit. Able to read my thoughts as few men can.
And I like as well that as you were saying, the human characters aren't that convincing. So you have a solid face.
Yeah.
Whether it's armor or a machine or something, it's quite effective that it's just a solid face with a mouth grill thing.
Before sides are taken and battles joined, I urge negotiation.
You urge negotiation after attacking us?
A gesture. Small missiles which I knew you could counter. Will you meet Zelda?
If it comes to a showdown between his battle cruiser and Space Hawk,
Yeah.
I am here. I can hear this.
we'd blow each other to pieces.
He's right. Of course.
You were listening.
All right, Trora.
It's a weird aside, isn't it?
But on my terms.
All right.
Oh.
Okay, let's see how this goes.
Comes back from there for a break. No, not on your terms.
The arrangements are made.
Oh, whatever they were.
There is a suitable asteroid in the Aryan cluster. The meeting will be held there, in one of the caves.
Why are you doing this, Tamura?
It is my karma, my destiny.
And Zelda has agreed to my terms?
Yes, all participants will come unarmed. I will ensure the truce is upheld.
Don't trust him, sir. Mary was right. It's a trap. I've got him covered. I'm not frightened of you, matey.
No one should doubt my powers, Doctor.
Gosh, and just to point his sword at you and you'll fall off your perch.
What happened?
I was clobbered. Right in the A circuits.
Ridiculous.
Always wondered as a kid what the A circuits were.
Yes, still wondering.
Yeah.
We've checked out the asteroid. Atmosphere and gravity have been created.
By Zelda.
She landed 2 hours ahead of you.
We'll go down to the surface and Treehawk.
We checked that out from Earth, even though you're in orbit of the asteroid. We checked it out from here.
Get on your perch.
It's a trap. I know it's a trap.
Of course it's a trap.
Yeah. All right.
We know it's a trap.
That's part of the fun, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, nice little awning. Gazebo.
It's Einstein. Ah, my dear Dr. Nines.
Doctor.
Zelda?
You may kiss my hand.
I'd sooner stick my head in a barrel of rattlesnakes.
Negotiations are off to a great start.
Let us begin, Zelda. State your case.
Very well. We are androids. Once we were the slaves of humanoids, very much like those who now inhabit the planet called Earth. Driven by despair, we managed to escape from the clutches of our cruel human masters. We were free to evolve to our present beautiful state. During our endless journeys, we were joined by other outcasts, other life forms that humans refer to as monsters.
It's interesting, this, because she's not lying. She's not exaggerating.
It's
This
all
is
very
true.
useful exposition,
Yeah.
Suitable planet for all my family. Green and plentiful, beautiful.
We think it's beautiful too. And it's our home, our heritage.
Your heritage. You destroy it, pollute the rivers and seas, ravage the land, subjugate the animal life and gorge on their flesh. Humans' history is a catalogue of destruction.
Well,
Fair.
wow.
She's not wrong.
No.
And 40 years later, we can confirm it's still the same.
Early man went naked and lived in caves.
And that's what I'm going to do right now.
We're not perfect. Along the way, we made mistakes. A lot of mistakes. But on behalf of my fellow men, I claim a right.
What is that?
The right to make mistakes. And learn from those mistakes. For I believe that man is basically good and will learn.
Now that I have heard the...
Is that it?
Yep.
God. Right, Zelda wins.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Unsure.
You agreed our cause was just.
And now I am unsure.
Now, Zelda. Now. Kill. Kill knights.
What? Oh, it was a trap.
It was a trap. Who could have seen this coming?
Yes. Oh, they shot Tamura. That was a bad move.
Yeah.
This is... Oh. Yayo. It's great. Yeah. This is one of the first episodes that was restored when we were testing with the network back in the day.
All right.
The first 16mm print to be restored. Aha. So it was really lovely getting the clips through for this.
Yeah.
Mostly this sequence, actually.
I remember this was on the YouTube channel, Networks, where I was. Yeah.
We are under your protection. You cannot harm.
And this was also made at a point in the series where they were kind of pushing Sistar as the main sidekick to Zelda before young Star kind of came into his own, and Sistar faded into the background.
Yes. The armor saved me, as it has before, and will again. Take the doctor. Leave this place of shame.
Sayonara.
Sayonara.
That's how you pronounce it. Sayonara. Oh, that might be an equally valid pronunciation, I don't know.
Probably not.
Probably not, no.
Sister and I will leave too.
No. You stay.
Naughty Zelda.
Meditate.
What's he doing? Keep quiet.
He's got legs.
Zelda must have smuggled those cubes into the cave. Yeah.
Can't believe I fell for it.
Yeah, again.
Let's return to Space Hall.
Is he asleep? No, he's in a trance.
Lovely roll wells from Denise.
I don't understand. His mind is trained to float outside his body.
Right.
Einstein is leaving. I curse the name.
Why didn't they just walk out while he's meditating? I don't know.
With the power of Tamura's.
Sistar fancies him a bit.
Of the mouths of babes. The Star Cruiser is controlled by Tamura's mind. Perhaps I can use my own powers. Be still. I must concentrate.
I love the articulation in the fingers, the design of them. They're so... Ugh.
Zero will be docking in 8 minutes.
Yes, sir.
Strange specific cutaway.
Yeah. So she's trying to take control of his ship?
Yeah. Something's happening.
Getting a kind of...
Blockbusters?
Zen. Zen from Blake 7. Blockbusters had occurred to me as well, yes.
I'll have a pee, please, Bob.
It's the little things. 5 missiles.
You're too late. The missiles are launched, targeted on Einstein.
Hear me, kindred spirit. Be warned.
I don't know what it is about the design of Hero, but I don't feel he looks especially Japanese. Sometimes in some shots I feel he looks almost feminine.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The hair is a bit off, maybe.
One at a time. Then you'd better get started.
Ah, yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
come on.
it's too late. They've hit us.
Yeah, exactly. Wow.
Must
Very
encourage
difficult to
hero.
hit those.
There must be hundreds.
Well, there's 5 or 6, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh.
Often played video game.
I keep missing.
It's going to come into play.
I'm taking over.
Nice.
Why? Why is he taking over?
Because he's experienced playing his video game, which he plays
I
all the
see,
time,
I see.
and it's picking off
I see.
things,
I see.
targeting
Playing a
things.
video game is just like real life stuff.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
It is here. Clever Einstein, see? He's actually been a hero for once,
Yeah.
rather than just a grumpy sod.
59, 60, 61.
Quite impressive when they only launched 5.
Yeah.
Is he just hitting the same one over and over again, do you think?
Great shooting, Doctor. Just keep counting.
Dr. Einstein is safe and on his way home. You may leave too.
Curses.
You have failed.
Again.
Oh.
I love quivering, angry Zelda.
How are you?
Well, I'll tell you. I'm ready.
It's great to see you.
803. That was the final score. Hero will confirm that.
What are you talking about?
I'll explain later. Just let me at it.
Because his previous high score is, I think, 749, isn't it,
Yeah.
on his
Sergeant
game
Major,
here?
welcome back.
Morning, Mom.
Tiger, you're
He's
impossible.
got such a short arm.
Yeah, that's very odd.
T-Rex.
Well, Sergeant Major, I'm sure you've got things to tell me.
Oh, yes, Mom. Matter of fact, I was wounded. My A circuits will never be the same. Well,
Space, fire, and damnation. I don't believe it. 87. I only scored 87.
That's very poor.
My lowest score ever.
I thought you said you were ready.
Well, maybe I shoot better when it's for real.
87. That hurts. Mustn't laugh. 87. My aching A circuits. Mind you, they only hurt when I laugh.
So stupid. Right.
So
Okay.
who's going to win? Are we thinking cubes or zeroids?
Zeroids this time.
I'm going to go
say.
cubes.
You probably know, Chris.
No, even I'm not that sad.
How many versions of this closing sequence did they make then? Just
I
like
think there's
2
like
or
4 or 5.
Yeah.
Just by
It's
flopping
not
it
just
over, you
2.
can
Of
immediately
course.
make double.
Yes.
Yeah.
I see.
I believe there is an article somewhere on the website where we list all of
Yes.
the winning matches, and
Because someone did that work.
someone did that. Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, that was quite fun. Interesting sort of recurring themes in there. The whole kind of psychic connection thing was something that Gerry's shows kind of dallied with occasionally, didn't they?
Yeah.
There's Samara, of course, in 5 Star 5, and there's the whole Bataan thing, and there's the in Space Precinct.
Oh
Yeah, but are the cubes going to cheat?
no.
Good.
Let's not play that.
Zeroids won.
Oh well.
Right.
Kevin Davies calls that the cat whittling.
Marks out of 5.
Well, I did enjoy that, but I know that there's better, weirder, sillier episodes further down the line. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 3 point. I'm just gonna stick with 3.
Yeah.
Stick with 3 for that.
3?
out of 5. Yeah.
I think I'm going to stick with 3, which for me actually is something of an improvement. I think the Terrahawks. I quite enjoyed the premise.
Yeah.
I was even happy with the the idea that because he played the video game, that kind of gave him a bit of an edge.
Yeah.
I like Tamura. I like the spaceship.
Yes, I like
love
the
the
idea.
music.
I like the idea of the sort of the peace conference, which
Yeah.
although it's been obvious it was going to be a trap. Of
course.
For a moment, it was interesting, and I like the fact that again we're asked to almost empathise with the villain when she set out her case against
she's not wrong.
humankind. She's not wrong.
No.
Yeah.
Just fascinating that you both gave 4 for the Falls 4 out of 5 last week.
Yeah.
Well, again, I scored
And
relative
yet-
to itself rather than.
Oh, you're
relative to
okay,
last week,
and I'm
yeah.
relative to everything.
Yeah.
So I'm 4.
Yes, of course you are.
Okay.
Yeah.
A very comfortable
That's
4.
fine.
Yeah. It's good. Podsterons, what do you think of the
That's 10
Space
out of
Samurai?
15.
10 out of 15?
10 out of 15.
It's not bad,
That's all right, isn't it?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Double figures.
Let us know your thoughts either in the comments beneath this video or by emailing us at podcast@gerryanderson.com.
Yes.
Let us know what you think about Terrahawks.
Or by going,
Yes.
That's a really good
Yes.
idea. Yeah. In the meantime, I think we should reconvene around this very table again next week and do more of the same.
I think we probably should, yeah.
Randomiser, a
Randomiser.
new guest in the interview chair.
Who's that going to be?
I think we're going to be talking to Naomi Opolinska.
Yes.
Commercials
Who is
producer with Gerry from the 80s and 90s, who will give us an insight into a period of Gerry's career which many people consider to be sort of quite a fallow period.
Yeah.
But actually, there's a heap of stuff going on, isn't there?
Very productive during that
Absolutely
time.
right. Yeah. So we look forward to that. More Gerry Anderson news, of course, and more from our wonderful Podsterons.
And another random episode.
Join us then.
Oh, yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's get started. Let's go.
Spectrum is green.
So if we were going to negotiate peace between ourselves and
Yeah.
Mars,
Yes.
who would we want to act as a mediator?
Out of us three, or
Well,
just
out of us three,
generally?
just generally, some
Mediator.
outsider. Yeah.
Elon Musk.
Ooh, yes.
That was an Anderson Entertainment production.